Hezekiah family. He's the Most High, holy and eternal, King of all kings, the only true, wise, and living God, the Almighty. Well, hello. So apologies for being out of communication for a number of days. I now have no laptop, as it has finally decided to completely give up the ghost. So I don't have an easy way to actually make videos at the moment, and my phone is a little bit temperamental also. I've had some pairing or hacking activity, would you believe, on my phone. So it's not been functioning fully as it should be. So, yeah, just all part of the usual, the standard nonsense. So really coming on by way of prophetic flow, we have been providing a bit of a on and off commentary, if you will, around the current unfolding of what we are currently seeing transpire in our current global beast system, our new world order as we know, or the world order we know as the beast system, which the Bible calls Mystery Babylon. So we are aware that Yahweh is not only judging certain things, but also bringing a number of things to light. So we're seeing exposure of a number of activities, particularly around the soulical trade in this particular system, that have been going on for generations. We've come to understand that as Nahum 3 does actually say, she is a construct, a system, a world order that sells nations through her witchcrafts and families through her whoredoms. I believe it does actually say in Nahum 3:3. Just make sure I've got it the correct way around. But you can verify for yourself what I'm saying. So it says she sells nations through her witchcrafts, through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. So we're seeing really play out in plain sight this very agenda. And we're seeing how they do target specific individuals that have, as we can see, either gifts or talents. Because as we know, Satan in of himself has no gifts at all to give to his children. He is purely a counterfeiter. He just purely copies what he sees Yahuwah do in the kingdom of light, essentially. So we're seeing believers being targeted by this system for their light and even also for their anointing as well. So this is how you have demonic entities, narcissists, masking themselves in light as if they are people of light, just to really confuse the righteous in many cases. So I really would encourage believers, Christians particularly, to be very observant at this time, because Yahuwah is doing this to give revelation, to give understanding of a number of things that have been ongoing in our world, really, because he's judging and he has already removed these systems, as we have explained, and we're currently see them actually trying to renew covenants again, trying to resell their souls again in some cases. I'm not quite sure how you do that more than once, but they are trying to find some kind of way. And doing this purely with the actual desire to destroy another individual. And you just think, well, evidently the irony is totally lost on such people. Because I mean, to be in such a condition to actually be willing to destroy yourself, to destroy someone else. I mean, the logic clearly isn't there. But I've always seen this. And it goes to more than they're just wanting to actually steal money, really, from people. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of it. Lucre is nothing more than just a heist. We've actually discussed that one of the actual names for this system is Mea Shalal Hashbaz, which means quickly to the spoil, swiftly to the plunder. We've seen that historically she's led a global campaign to do these things against many other nations. This is nothing new to us. We are aware and familiar of her mode of operation in that regard. So we're seeing how she really does oppress other nations, other peoples, even for their inheritance, for their heritage as well. So this, as you can see, ties into what we've been talking about, really, about her overall agenda within the tabernacle systems to lead various what's the word, agendas, if you will, to remove brown Israel from being a people, being a nation, of having any recollection that they are a people. Because we see that even what Moses foretold in Deuteronomy 28:48, that these oppressors would actually put a yoke on Israel's neck, and they wouldn't take it off until they had believed that she was destroyed or didn't know who she was any longer. So this is a part of their overall agenda in these systems to do these things. So we can see quite clearly they evidently have oppressed Israel for her heritage, for her name, for her destiny. Quite clearly we can see that. Because if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be seeing the unfolding of what we're currently seeing going on. And as we've explained previously, this was a totally unnecessary battle that didn't need to be fought. Why? Because we explained Yahuwah had grafted the Gentiles, including Edom, in to the olive vine of Israel for a time. If you recall, we discussed this in looking at Romans 11. So there was no need, really, for any of this subsequently to have transpired or taken place. But this is the nature of greed, essentially. And it's that greed that essentially gets Edom, in the end of days, removed. Because as we've explained, that of all the nations of the earth, Edom is one of only, a handful of nations that doesn't return. So, meaning that after post the judgment, she ceases to exist. It's just a total annihilation, just a removal. And the reason is for many of these things. So we can say that Yahuwah really is breaking through in the earth currently, or at least attempting to, and bringing in a new order of things. Because as we can see, the earth has transitioned now from being under management of a system of darkness into a system of light. Once again, this is part of the overall shift. We've just come through transitionary shift, which is going to yield some very interesting results and greater freedom, really, in a number of areas, a number of ways, to people, to nations, even collectively, if people really can receive it. So it does really altogether call for, a lighter planet. And there have been various systems, even nations, that are very much founded on wounds, essentially. So this is part of the actual reason we've actually been saying, that really the concluding of the previous cycle of history did actually require a reckoning, really, of a number of things that had been ongoing within it. So we truly are in some very exciting times. Some uncharted waters in some areas, but nevertheless, this is very, very much needed because we literally had come to an end, really, of many things. Perhaps weren't fully recognised as being ends, but they were essentially ends, essentially. We're seeing this play out technologically, and we're seeing this play out even, in the general culture, and even in religion as well. We're seeing various things really, being taken really almost as far as they could in a sense. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's just take the example of technology, for instance. So we're coming to a stage, or we're coming to see really that, technology, rather than actually serving mankind, is starting to come to the stage where it's becoming almost a burden on mankind, because now it's becoming us, the people, that are almost being consumed by technology in a very real sense. Our data is becoming a key dependency, really, for these systems to function and to operate, with the result, all of that really does entail the invasion of privacy, that does entail, and to some extent, the dehumanization, to an extent also. And there are some also unethical, or some aspects that do also impact on the actual ethical aspects as well that, well, perhaps aren't really so favourable. And so it's quite clear we've come to a stage where technology doesn't almost know how to move safely beyond, indicating that a point of discontinuity, really, is needed to move and to shift, even scientifically, to the next level, is one way that you could actually read it. Because mankind's answer in their secular understanding would be to go to AI. And, well, we can see how that's going to go, with even the inventors or the instigators of it warning, really, of the dangers and really of this. And this really is a complete, I think it's just a complete ridiculous notion that you would put a non-sentient entity, really, in a position where it could even make decisions, really, determinations over humanity, over the people that even create it or initiate it. It really is, it just makes no sense at all. Even the God of heaven, when he created the heavens and the earth, he was sensible enough not to create or build mankind in a sense that would be too advanced or more advanced than himself, because of course there'd be no safety net, or there'd be no way to redeem, or there'd be no way to actually save or pull certain things back if things got out of control or out of hand. So this isn't what